Life doesn't change in one dramatic moment. Life changes quietly. In the small decisions you make when nobody is watching. We often say, one day my life will change. But the truth is, your life changes the day you change the way you think, react, and act. I have met people with very little, yet they sleep peacefully. And I have met people with everything, yet they are restless inside. So the problem is not life. The problem is the rules we are living by. Today, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to remind you of the wisdom you already know, but may have forgotten. Most people believe their problem is anger, stress, or people around them. But the real problem is not what happens to us. It is how quickly we react to it. Reaction is automatic. Response is intentional. And the quality of your life depends on the gap between the two. Let me explain this very simply. Two people face the same insult. One person loses peace for the entire day. The other person listens, smiles, and moves on. Same situation, same words, but completely different outcomes. Why? Because one gave control of their emotions to someone else, and the other kept that control within. You see, when you react immediately, you are no longer the driver of your life. You become a passenger. Anyone can push your buttons. Anyone can decide your mood. Anyone can disturb your sleep. And slowly, without realizing it, you start living life on other people's terms. Most regrets in life don't come from what we did after thinking calmly. They come from what we did in one emotional second. One angry message, one harsh word, one impulsive decision. And after that moment passes, we say, I wish I had controlled myself. But the damage is already done. Control does not mean suppressing emotions. Control means understanding them. When anger rises, pause and ask yourself one question. Is this situation worth my peace? In most cases, the answer is no. But because we don't pause, we don't give wisdom a chance to speak. Think about this: when someone provokes you and you react angrily, who has won? Not you. The other person has succeeded in controlling your emotions. Real strength is not in shouting louder. Real strength is in staying calm when you have every reason not to be. Life will test you. People will misunderstand you. Situations will disappoint you. That is guaranteed. What is not guaranteed is your reaction. That part is completely in your hands. And the moment you realize this, you reclaim your power. Imagine carrying a glass of water while walking. If someone bumps into you, the water spills. Why? Not because of the bump, but because there was water inside the glass. Similarly, when someone bumps into you emotionally and anger spills out, it is because anger was already inside. Life doesn't create what comes out of you. Life reveals it. So instead of asking, why did they make me angry? Ask, why was anger my first response? This shift in thinking changes everything. It moves you from being a victim to being responsible. And responsibility is not a burden, it is freedom. When you control your reactions, your mind becomes lighter, your decisions become clearer, your relationships become healthier. You stop wasting energy on unnecessary battles. You stop explaining yourself to people who have already decided not to understand you. Silence, at times, is not weakness. It is wisdom. Not every comment deserves a reply. Not every provocation deserves attention. Your peace is more valuable than proving a point. Remember this: you don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. Control your reaction, and you will notice something beautiful. People will start respecting you more. Not because you dominate them, but because you dominate yourself. Self-control creates inner confidence. And inner confidence doesn't need validation. This practice is not easy. It takes awareness. It takes patience. And yes, you will fail sometimes. But every time you pause instead of reacting, you grow stronger. Every calm response rewires your mind. Slowly, peace becomes your natural state, not an effort. Life doesn't become easier when you control your reactions, but you become stronger. And when you become stronger inside, life outside loses its power to disturb you. That is not just emotional maturity, that is true success. Many people wait for motivation to change their life. They say, when I feel inspired, I will start. But days turn into months, months turn into years, and life stays the same. Motivation is like the weather. Some days it shines brightly, some days it disappears completely. If your life depends on motivation, then your progress will always be uncertain. Discipline, on the other hand, does not ask how you feel. Discipline asks only one question: what needs to be done? And then it does it quietly, without drama, without excuses. This is why discipline, not motivation, builds lasting success. Think about the most successful people you admire. Do you really believe they wake up every day feeling excited and inspired? Of course not. They wake up tired, confused, sometimes discouraged, just like everyone else. The difference is not how they feel. The difference is what they do despite how they feel. Motivation says, I will work when I feel ready. Discipline says, I will work and become ready. This small shift changes everything. When you act first, the mind follows. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the road to become smooth before starting the journey. Discipline teaches you to walk even when the road is rough. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Your mind often seeks comfort: sleep a little more, scroll a little longer, postpone a little further. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it silently steals your future. Discipline protects your future from your present impulses. People often think discipline is punishment. It is not. Discipline is self-respect. It is telling yourself, my dreams matter more than my excuses. When you keep promises to yourself, your confidence grows. When you break them repeatedly, your self-belief weakens. Look closely at your daily routine. Your life is not shaped by one big decision. It is shaped by small, repeated actions. Waking up on time, showing up consistently, doing the work even when nobody is watching. These are acts of discipline, and they compound quietly over time. Motivation may help you start, but discipline helps you continue. Anyone can begin something when emotions are high. Very few can continue when results are slow and effort feels heavy. That is where discipline separates those who dream from those who achieve. Discipline also brings peace. When your life has structure, your mind feels safer. Chaos creates anxiety. Consistency creates calm. When you know you will show up, no matter what, your mind stops negotiating with you. And when the mind stops negotiating, energy is saved. You don't need extreme discipline. You need simple, repeatable discipline. Not perfection, consistency. Missing once is human. Missing repeatedly is a habit. Discipline is not about never falling. It is about getting up without excuses. Some days discipline will feel hard. That is normal. Growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels rewarding. But remember this, every disciplined action is a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, those votes create identity. You stop forcing discipline, it becomes who you are. The beautiful part is this: discipline gives you freedom. When you are disciplined with your time, you gain more time. When you are disciplined with your money, you gain security. When you are disciplined with your habits, you gain control over your life. Motivation fades, but discipline stays. And when discipline stays long enough, results appear. And when results appear, motivation returns naturally. But this time, it is built on evidence, not emotion. If you want to change your life, stop waiting to feel ready. Start acting responsibly. Start showing up on ordinary days. Because greatness is not built on extraordinary moments. It is built on ordinary days lived with discipline. Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they choose comfort again and again. Comfort is subtle. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It says, rest a little more. You can start tomorrow. You deserve ease after a hard day. And slowly, without realizing it, comfort becomes a cage. Comfort feels safe. Growth feels uncertain. And the human mind naturally runs towards safety. But here is the truth we often ignore. Everything you truly want in life lives outside your comfort zone. Confidence, success, self-respect, clarity, none of these are born in comfort. They are born in moments of stretch, effort, and discomfort. Think about how muscles grow. They don't grow when you lift what feels easy. They grow when you challenge them. Life works the same way. If you repeat only what feels familiar, your life may feel stable, but it will never expand. Stability without growth eventually turns into stagnation. Choosing comfort over progress may not hurt immediately. In fact, it feels good in the moment, but the cost is delayed. One skipped effort doesn't ruin your life, but repeated avoidance slowly builds regret. And regret is far heavier than effort ever was. Progress asks for courage. It asks you to do things before you feel ready, to speak when it's easier to stay silent, to try when failure is possible. Comfort says, don't risk it. Progress says, risk is the price of becoming. Many people wait for confidence before taking action. But confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. Confidence follows. Every time you choose progress over comfort, even in a small way, you send a powerful message to your mind, I can handle discomfort. And once the mind believes that, fear loses its control. Comfort keeps you busy, but progress makes you better. You can spend hours scrolling, talking, planning, and still feel exhausted because nothing meaningful moved forward. Progress may feel tiring in the beginning, but it leaves you fulfilled. At the end of a disciplined, challenging day, there is a quiet satisfaction that comfort can never provide. Choosing progress also changes how you see yourself. Self-respect grows when you do hard things voluntarily. Every time you avoid effort, a small part of your self-trust weakens. Every time you push through resistance, self-trust strengthens. Over time, this shapes your identity. Growth often looks messy. You may fail. You may look foolish. You may move slower than others. Comfort promises protection from embarrassment, but protection also means limitation. A protected life is often a small life. Progress requires you to be a beginner again and again, and the ego hates being a beginner. Comfort protects the ego. Progress builds the soul. That is why growth feels uncomfortable. It challenges who you think you are. Remember, this comfort is not happiness. Comfort is familiarity. Happiness comes from meaning, and meaning comes from growth. That is why people who challenge themselves often appear more alive, even when life is difficult. They are moving forward, and forward motion creates hope. Choosing progress over comfort does not mean exhausting yourself or rejecting rest. Rest is necessary. Comfort is not the enemy. Living with only for comfort is. Rest should recharge you so you can grow again. Comfort should be a pause, not a destination. Life rewards movement. When you move toward growth, opportunities appear. When you stay comfortable, life stays repetitive. Not because life is unfair, but because life responds to your direction. One day, comfort will ask you to settle. Progress will ask you to rise. And in that moment, remember, discomfort is temporary, but regret can last a lifetime. Choose progress. Your future self is counting on it. Your mind is the most powerful place you will ever live in. And yet, it is also the most unprotected. We lock our houses, we protect our phones with passwords, we choose carefully what we eat, but we allow anything and everything to enter our mind. And then we wonder why we feel restless, anxious, confused, or negative. What you repeatedly expose your mind to becomes your inner voice. Your thoughts don't appear randomly. They are shaped by what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, and the conversations you entertain. The mind is not a dustbin, it is a garden. Whatever you feed, it will grow. Many people say, I can handle it. They believe negative news, toxic conversations, and endless comparison won't affect them. But the mind works silently. It absorbs even when you think it isn't. Just like polluted air affects your lungs slowly, polluted information affects your thoughts gradually. If you constantly consume fear, your mind learns fear. If you constantly consume anger, your mind learns anger. If you constantly consume distraction, your mind loses depth. And then, without realizing it, you start reacting from a place you never consciously chose. Guarding your mind does not mean disconnecting from the world. It means choosing wisely what deserves your attention. Attention is life energy. Wherever your attention goes, your life follows. When your attention is scattered, your peace is scattered. Notice how your mood changes after certain interactions. Some conversations leave you inspired, others leave you drained. Some content uplifts you, others leave you restless. This is not coincidence. Your mind responds to its environment. The problem is not technology. The problem is unconscious consumption. Scrolling without intention trains the mind to seek constant stimulation and instant pleasure. Stillness starts to feel uncomfortable. Silence feels empty. Focus feels difficult. This is not weakness, it is conditioning. A guarded mind learns to pause and ask, is this helping me grow or pulling me down? Not everything deserves your mental space. Just because something is popular does not mean it is healthy for you. Just because everyone is talking about it does not mean you need to listen. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of peace. When you constantly watch others' highlights, your mind starts undervaluing your own journey. You forget your progress. You forget your blessings. And slowly, dissatisfaction becomes your default state. Guarding your mind also means being careful with self-talk. The way you speak to yourself matters more than how others speak to you. A mind filled with self-criticism becomes a hostile place to live in. Discipline without compassion becomes punishment. You must learn to be both firm and kind with your own mind. Correct negative thoughts, but don't attack yourself for having them. Awareness heals more than judgment. A protected mind creates clarity, and clarity leads to better decisions. When your mind is calm, you don't rush into reactions. You don't chase validation. You don't panic at uncertainty. You respond instead of react. This is not about becoming positive all the time. It is about becoming conscious. You will still experience fear, doubt, and sadness, but they will pass through you, not live inside you. Your mind is always listening. Feed it wisdom. Feed it silence. Feed it purpose. Because whatever lives in your mind today becomes the reality you live tomorrow. Guard your mind carefully. Not because the world is bad, but because your peace is precious. Time is the only currency that is given equally to everyone, yet used very differently by each person. Money can be earned again. Opportunities can return. Even relationships can sometimes be repaired. But time once gone never comes back. That is why how you treat time quietly reveals how you treat your own life. Most people don't waste time intentionally. They waste it unconsciously. A few minutes here, a few minutes there. One unnecessary delay. One, I'll do it later. And slowly, days slip away. Life doesn't disappear in one dramatic moment. It disappears in small postponements. We often say, I don't have time. But the truth is, we make time for what matters to us. Look at your daily routine, and it will show you your priorities more honestly than your words ever could. Time never lies. When you respect time, you stop waiting for perfect conditions. You understand that action now is better than perfection later. You stop delaying important conversations. You stop postponing self-care. You stop saying someday to dreams that deserve today's effort. Respecting time also means respecting your own energy. Time is not just about hours, it is about attention. Spending hours distracted is not productivity. Spending focused minutes on the right thing creates momentum. When your time is intentional, your mind feels lighter. People who value time don't rush unnecessarily, but they don't delay meaninglessly either. They understand balance. They know when to move fast and when to slow down. They don't confuse business with progress. Every phase of life has a window. Certain skills are easier to build when you are young. Certain relationships require presence when they are fragile. Certain opportunities appear only once. When you delay action, you are not just losing time, you are losing timing. Procrastination is often misunderstood. It is not laziness, it is fear disguised as delay. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. But time does not pause for fear, it keeps moving forward. Respecting time means acting despite fear. It means starting before you feel ready. It means trusting that clarity comes through action, not waiting. Many people wait for confidence, but confidence grows when time is used courageously. When you waste time, guilt follows. When you respect time, self-respect grows. This inner alignment brings peace. You sleep better. You worry less. You feel more in control of your life. Time also teaches humility. No matter how powerful or talented you are, time treats everyone equally. It doesn't favor excuses. It rewards consistency. Those who show up daily may move slowly, but they move surely. Respecting time does not mean living in stress or urgency. It means living consciously. It means being present where you are instead of constantly thinking about where you should be. A present mind uses time wisely. One day, you will look back and realize that life was not made of years, but moments. Moments of courage, moments of kindness, moments of effort. How you use your time today decides the memories you will have tomorrow. Treat time like life depends on it, because it does. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you are voting for the person you will become. Not with big, dramatic decisions, but with small habits. What you do consistently matters far more than what you do occasionally. Life is not shaped by one powerful moment, it is shaped by repeated behavior. Many people overestimate what they can change in one day and underestimate what they can change in 1 year. They wait for a breakthrough, a miracle, or a sudden transformation. But the truth is, transformation is usually boring. It happens quietly through habits that don't look impressive in the beginning. Your habits may seem small, but they are powerful because they compound. Just like money grows with interest, habits grow with repetition. One good habit repeated daily builds strength. One bad habit repeated daily builds limitation. The danger is that both feel harmless at first. Skipping one workout doesn't make you unhealthy. Reading one page doesn't make you intelligent. Saving a small amount doesn't make you wealthy. But when these actions are repeated, they slowly shape your identity. Over time, you don't just do habits, you become them. Your habits are proof of who you believe you are. When you wake up early consistently, you are telling yourself, I am disciplined. When you avoid responsibility, you are telling yourself, I run from discomfort. The mind listens to actions more than words. This is why motivation alone doesn't change life. Motivation fades, habits remain. Motivation may push you to start, but habits decide whether you continue. The person who relies on habits doesn't need to negotiate with their mind every day. The decision has already been made. Many people try to change their life by changing their goals. But real change comes from changing systems. Goals are outcomes. Habits are processes. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Habits also protect you on difficult days. When emotions are low and confidence is weak, habits carry you forward. They act like rails on a bridge, guiding you even when visibility is poor. Without habits, you rely on willpower, and willpower is limited. Bad habits don't destroy life immediately. They slowly drain it. Excessive distraction, negative self-talk, avoidance, comfort-seeking, none of these scream danger. But over time, they steal focus, energy, and belief. Good habits, on the other hand, often feel unrewarding at first. Effort without applause, discipline without immediate results. But slowly, they build something far greater, self-trust. And once you trust yourself, confidence grows naturally. Habits don't require perfection, they require consistency. Missing once is not failure. Giving up is. Progress is not ruined by one mistake, but by repeated excuses. Your environment shapes your habits more than your willpower. What is easy, you do more often. What is difficult, you avoid. If you want better habits, design your environment to support them. Make good habits easy. Make bad habits hard. Identity follows habit. When you act like a disciplined person long enough, you stop forcing discipline. It becomes who you are. This is the most powerful shift. You stop saying, I'm trying. You start saying, this is how I live. Every habit is a vote. One vote won't decide your future, but thousands of small votes will. And the beautiful part is this, you don't need to change everything at once. You only need to change what you repeat. Today's habits are tomorrow's lifestyle. And tomorrow's lifestyle becomes your destiny. Choose wisely what you repeat, because repetition is writing your future silently. One of the biggest reasons people feel exhausted is not because they work too hard, but because they allow too many people to enter their mental and emotional space. Everyone wants access to your time, your attention, your energy, your emotions. But not everyone deserves it. When you give everyone access to you, you slowly lose access to yourself. Your thoughts become crowded. Your emotions become heavy. Your peace becomes fragile. And then you wonder why you feel drained even when nothing physically exhausting has happened. Boundaries are not walls built out of anger. They are doors built out of self-respect. They decide who gets to enter your inner world and who stays outside. Without boundaries, even good people can overwhelm you. With boundaries, even difficult situations become manageable. Many people struggle with boundaries because they confuse them with selfishness. They think saying no makes them rude or unkind, but constantly saying yes to others while saying no to yourself is not kindness, it is self-neglect. Your energy is limited, just like money. If you spend it everywhere, you will have nothing left for what truly matters. Protecting your energy is not about avoiding people, it is about choosing people. Not everyone who smiles at you supports you. Not everyone who listens to you understands you. And not everyone who asks for your time respects it. Discernment is wisdom, not arrogance. When you stop over explaining yourself, something powerful happens. You stop seeking approval. You stop needing validation. You stop justifying your boundaries to people who benefit from you having none. People who respect you will respect your boundaries. People who don't will try to make you feel guilty. Guilt is often used as a tool to cross boundaries. Learning to sit with discomfort instead of guilt is part of emotional maturity. You are not responsible for how others feel about your boundaries. You are responsible for how you feel when you abandon yourself. That pain lasts much longer. Boundaries also protect your focus. When too many voices influence you, clarity disappears. Everyone's opinion becomes noise. And in that noise, your own inner voice gets lost. When you choose carefully who you allow into your life, your relationships improve. Quality replaces quantity. Depth replaces drama. Peace replaces chaos. Setting boundaries does not mean cutting everyone off. It means adjusting access. Some people get front row seats. Some get balcony seats. Some don't get a ticket at all, and that's okay. Your silence can be a boundary. Your distance can be a boundary. You don't always need a long explanation. Sometimes consistency is enough. The more you honor your own limits, the more self-trust you build. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. The right people will understand, and the wrong ones don't need to. Silence is one of the most underrated forms of power. Yet, most people fear it. They feel the need to respond, to explain, to defend, to prove themselves. But true strength does not come from speaking more. It comes from knowing when not to speak. Silence carries a weight that words often cannot match. It is calm, deliberate, and controlled. Many people confuse silence with weakness. They think that if they do not argue, they are being passive. But in reality, silence is often the most active choice you can make. It is a conscious decision to preserve your energy, maintain clarity, and avoid unnecessary conflict. It is a choice to act from wisdom rather than emotion. When someone provokes you, your first instinct may be to respond immediately, but reacting in anger or frustration rarely solves anything. Instead, it feeds the situation. Silence allows the storm to pass without adding fuel to it. By not reacting, you remain in control of your emotions and your actions. Silence also creates space. When you speak less, you listen more. You understand more. You notice things that words often hide. In conversations, people who speak less gain insights that those who speak more often miss. Silence becomes a tool for observation, reflection, and understanding. Many conflicts in life are born from unnecessary explanations. People feel the need to justify themselves, to prove they are right. But the truth is, explanations often give more power to the other person. Silence, on the other hand, allows reality to speak for itself. The right people will understand. The wrong ones will misunderstand anyway, and there is no energy worth spending on them. Silence is also a form of self-respect. When you refuse to engage in gossip, petty arguments, or meaningless debates, you send a clear message. You will not waste your energy on what does not matter. Your peace is more important than proving a point or being understood by everyone. In moments of anger or disappointment, silence is a shield. It prevents words from being said that may hurt others or yourself. Once spoken, words cannot be taken back, but silence preserves relationships and dignity. Those who speak impulsively often regret their words later, while those who practice silence maintain integrity and control. Silence is also a teacher. When you are quiet, you face yourself. You notice your thoughts, your fears, your desires. Many people avoid silence because they fear confronting their inner world. But real growth happens in that space. In silence, you learn to understand yourself, to listen to your intuition, and to act with clarity. Some of the most powerful leaders, thinkers, and spiritual figures understood the value of silence. They did not fill every moment with words or noise. They spoke only when necessary, and their words carried weight because of the space around them. Silence made their presence felt even when they were not speaking. Silence can also calm chaos around you. In heated situations, responding with noise often escalates tension. Choosing to remain quiet can diffuse arguments, shift perspectives, and create room for rational thinking. Silence is not avoidance, it is strategy. It is strength disguised as calm. Many people underestimate the inner peace that comes from silence. The constant chatter of opinions, notifications, and obligations overwhelms the mind. Choosing silence, even for a few minutes each day, restores clarity, reduces stress, and strengthens focus. It is in those quiet moments that creativity, insight, and wisdom emerge. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the presence of understanding. It is a way to respond to life from a place of thoughtfulness rather than impulse. Those who master silence do not need to shout to be heard. Their actions, decisions, and calm presence speak louder than words ever could. Learning the power of silence takes practice. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You may feel pressure to explain, to defend, or to justify. But with time, silence becomes a tool that empowers you, protects you, and elevates you. It becomes a source of strength that others cannot take away. When you speak less and listen more, you gain insight. When you pause before reacting, you gain control. When you choose silence over unnecessary words, you gain peace. And in the end, peace is one of the most powerful forces in life. Silence is not absence. It is presence, the presence of thought, awareness, and wisdom. It is a choice to value your mind, your energy, and your relationships. It is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful answer is no answer at all. Those who understand silence are never powerless. They are deliberate, they are calm, they are strategic, and most importantly, they are free from chaos, free from unnecessary conflict, and free to live life on their own terms. The world may push you to speak, react, and explain, but remember this: your power lies not in how loudly you speak, but in how wisely you remain silent. In silence, there is clarity. In silence, there is strength. And in silence, there is peace that words can never create. Gratitude is often spoken about as if it is a simple feeling, something that comes naturally when life is going well. But in reality, gratitude is a practice, a skill that must be cultivated, nurtured, and lived daily. It is far more powerful than many realize because it changes not only what we see, but how we experience life itself. Most people think happiness comes from having more money, more success, more recognition, more comfort. But gratitude flips this belief completely. It teaches us that happiness does not come from having more, but from noticing what we already have. Without gratitude, life feels like a list of shortages. With gratitude, life becomes a canvas of abundance. Gratitude starts with awareness. We take so much for granted: the air we breathe, the roof over our head, the people who care about us, our health, even small daily comforts. Yet we rarely pause to recognize these simple blessings. When we do, it shifts our perspective. What once felt ordinary now feels extraordinary. Practicing gratitude is not about ignoring challenges or pretending that life is perfect. It is about seeing the good that exists alongside the struggles. It is about finding light in the darkness, lessons in failures, and opportunities in obstacles. Gratitude does not deny reality, it reframes it. One of the most powerful effects of gratitude is how it rewires the brain. When you focus on what you have, the mind begins to see abundance rather than lack. Anxiety decreases. Comparison fades. Jealousy loses its grip. Your mental energy is no longer spent on what is missing, but is redirected to appreciation and growth. Gratitude also changes how we interact with others. People who practice gratitude naturally become more kind, patient, and empathetic. When you recognize the support and effort of others, you treat them with respect and care. Relationships deepen, conflicts lessen, and connections grow stronger. Gratitude creates a ripple effect. It spreads from you to everyone around you. Many people wait to feel grateful, thinking it comes after success, after achievement, or after something significant happens. But this is a trap. Gratitude is not a reward, it is a habit. It grows through conscious practice. Writing down 3 things you are thankful for each day, noticing moments of joy, or expressing thanks to someone directly, these small acts cultivate a mindset that transforms life. Gratitude also makes challenges more bearable. Life will always bring difficulties, disappointments, and pain. Without gratitude, these moments can feel overwhelming. With gratitude, even suffering can become meaningful. It teaches resilience, patience, and acceptance. When you focus on what is still good, even in hardship, you retain peace and hope. Another essential aspect of gratitude is its ability to stop the mind from chasing endless wants. Human desire is insatiable by nature. There is always something more we think we need. Gratitude interrupts this cycle. It reminds us that enough is already here. Enough is already present. Enough is already within us. This doesn't discourage growth. It simply grounds us so that ambition does not turn into restlessness or dissatisfaction. Gratitude is not just an emotional response, it is a deliberate choice. You can choose to complain, criticize, and compare, or you can choose to see blessings, celebrate small wins, and appreciate life's simple gifts. This choice affects everything: your mood, your relationships, your decisions, and even your health. Studies have shown that gratitude reduces stress, improves sleep, boosts immunity, and strengthens the heart. It is not just philosophy, it is science. One of the most profound aspects of gratitude is that it connects you to the present. Most suffering comes from regretting the past or fearing the future. Gratitude pulls your attention to the here and now. When you notice what is good in this moment, you are fully alive. You are no longer lost in endless worry or desire. You are anchored in the richness of life that already exists. Gratitude also builds humility. It reminds us that we are not entirely self-made. We rely on countless people, circumstances, and opportunities to reach where we are. Recognizing this interconnection keeps pride in check and opens the heart to empathy, compassion, and service. Finally, gratitude transforms perspective. 2 people can experience the same event. One sees it as misfortune, the other as an opportunity. One sees scarcity, the other abundance. Gratitude tilts perception toward abundance, toward growth, and toward peace. It doesn't change external events, but it changes the experience of them completely. To live a grateful life, you do not need grand gestures. Begin with small, intentional acts. Notice the morning sunlight. Thank the person who makes your coffee. Write down a line about something that went well today. These small, consistent acts accumulate, and slowly, gratitude becomes a natural lens through which you see the world. Gratitude is the bridge between what you have and what truly matters. It turns ordinary moments into blessings. It transforms dissatisfaction into contentment. It strengthens relationships, eases the mind, and nurtures the soul. Those who practice gratitude do not simply survive life, they flourish in it. If you truly want to experience peace, happiness, and fulfillment, the secret is not more. The secret is a grateful awareness. Look around you. Notice what is already present. Appreciate it deeply. Express it genuinely. When you live with gratitude, life itself becomes a gift, and every moment becomes an opportunity to celebrate it.